My pocket notebook watches movies with me. While others take screenshot, I take notes. Sound weird? Let me show you. Hi, I'm Darun and this is the pocket notebook I'm currently using. Let's clear two things before diving into the video. First, I'm not a movie critic or a cinephile. And second, yes, I do take notes while watching movies at home. These notes are more personal than a review. So why even do this? Why not just sit back, relax and chill? For me, watching a movie is like experiencing a long form of poem. It's like a long form of art. While watching movies, I often find lines, visual compositions, or scenes that I want to hold on. But with a terrible visual memory, I forget the details and inspiration that the movie triggered. Then I felt an urge to keep a thing that may help me in capturing those moments while watching movies, and that is where these notebook helps. I can note anything I liked in between the movies. It's small, so it doesn't feel like you're doing your homework or completing an assignment. And also with pen and paper, I don't analyze the movie academically. It's like noting the things that are subjectively important to me. Now let's be real. I don't write actively all the time during the movies. I only pause the movie if something really hits me, as I don't want to miss something or get too distracted with this. While noting things down, I don't focus on my writing aesthetics or neatness. I just scribble things down with a bad handwriting every time. The things that attract me or interest me varies from movies to movies. Sometimes it's a beautiful line, sometimes just a camera movement, or sometimes just a resembling feel. I just write small keywords that I know I'll understand later, as these are my personal notes and there's no one judging me in between these pages. This is the interesting part. The tone and vibe of the notes shifts as the kind of movie changes, which means it depends on what kind of genre or what kind of movie I'm watching. As I don't have a specific format or a specific system for movie notes, although I'm working on one just to get organized, but till now I set myself free. If I'm watching a light-hearted movie or a rom-com, I may end up writing small jokes or silly one-liners from characters. But if the movie is more intense, slow and deep, like The Lunchbox or a movie that I recently watched named Black Friday by Anurag Kashyap, the notes of these movies are more slow, deep and introspective. I love how the notebook molds itself with different vibes in movies. Once the movie ends, I turn back to the notebook and write a small final note for the movie and rate that movie out of 10. To be clear, these ratings are not from a critique point of view, but from a very personal angle, that how the movie felt. Sometimes I also write my own alterations of the movie. These are mostly the more possible outcomes of the movie. Then this becomes the time capsule. These final notes help me later when I get back to the notebook. I get to revisit what I was experiencing back then and what are the things that interests me. I also sketch occasionally, but these are not the full illustrations that are shown in the movie, but just the little thumbnails of the elements or scene that I liked. Sometimes I don't even remember the scene clearly, but I remember roughly what I wrote about that. Now let me show you my notes from a movie called Omkara. This was one of the movie by Vishal Bhardwaj, and to be clear, this was not a random movie that I watched. This movie was forced on me by one of my cinephile friend. This was when I started writing about the movie Omkara, an adaptation of Shakespeare's play. I forget the name. I didn't search for that. Sorry. Deepak Topial, Nasiruddin Shah, Saif Ali Khan, Vivek Oberoi, Ajay Devgan, Kareena Kapoor, Pankaj Tripathi. An absolute great star cast. And the background music of Ajay Devgan. Yeah, that background music of Ajay Devgan's entry resembles the music of Akatsuki from Naruto. If you are a Naruto fan, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're not, you can just search the Akatsuki theme and that will match the Ajay Devgan's entry. The character of Ajay Devgan was called Ada Baman and the character of Saif Ali Khan was called Bangda Tyagi. Now this was one of my favorite scenes from the movie. There's a meeting going on adjacent side of a table just like this, but the table is placed at the back of a truck and the truck is moving on the road. That scene is a bit on the serious side, but the environment and the surroundings of the scene makes the scene very unique in its own self. I really liked the climax of the movie. The twists and turns at the last 20 minutes of the movie was great. All over, I give that movie a 9 out of 10 and it was one of the great I will not say great, it's one of the cult movie that I watched. Now let me show you another news from a movie called Maqbool. It was also an adaptation of Shakespeare's play and directed by Vishal Bhardwaj. It this was I think it's on this one. Yeah, this is the movie Maqbool, and this is the star cast of the movie: Irfan Khan, Tabu, Nasiruddin Shah, Pankaj Kapoor. And according to me, this was one of the best movies by Irfan Khan and also Piyush Mishra. This is also based on a Shakespeare play called Macbeth. This was one of the main and one of the most important dialogues from the movie I've written, that repeated and most valuable dialogue. Now, this is a sketch of a diagram which was constant throughout the movie, a constant diagram throughout the film by Om Puri as Panditji policeman. This was a diagram which was shown many times in the movie, and the circles on the diagram was changed with different objects every time. Finished a solid 10 by 10. This movie, I can watch this anytime, anywhere, and from any point of time in the movie. This contains very classic dialogues and is considered one of the cult movie in Hindi cinemas. Great writing with great actors. So that's how my pocket notebook adds a whole new layer to watching movies. This is a small habit, but this adds so much depth to the whole experience. If you're someone who journals or sketches or just love movies, I would highly encourage you to try this once. Watch your next movie with a notebook in hand and see what comes out. And if you're already into something similar or use notebooks for creative purposes like these, do leave a comment down below. I would love to hear new possibilities. Thank you for watching.